There are some pieces of wisdom that just feel timeless, right? They're passed down from generation to generation. But what happens when that timeless wisdom smacks right into the messy realities of modern life? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, exploring one of the biggest challenges for any new couple, carving out a space to call their own.
It all kind of starts with this simple, powerful proverb. The married one wants a house. For centuries, this was just common sense. You get married, you start a new life, and that new life needs a new home, a space that belongs to you too, and nobody else.
But let's be real. For so many newlyweds today, that traditional ideal feels more like a fantasy. I mean, with the insane cost of housing, or maybe cultural expectations, or even just the convenience of staying put, the path to your own front door is often blocked by some pretty huge obstacles.
And that right there is the heart of the dilemma for so many couples. On one hand, living with family, it just makes sense, practically. You save a ton of money, you've got a built-in support system. But on the other hand, there's this powerful gut-level need for independence, for the space you need to actually build your new little family unit. So, what's the real cost of choosing convenience? That brings us right into our first section. Because while sharing a home might look good on paper, psychologists are waving a big red flag, warning that it comes with some serious, hidden risks to the relationship itself. This quote from psychologist Rashid Guardia it nails the fundamental problem. No matter how lovely and welcoming the family is, the in-laws' house is and always will be someone else's turf. What that means is one partner is basically a permanent guest in their own home, and that creates a power imbalance right from day one.
And the consequences just kind of ripple out from there. Therapist Lucy Romero points out that this setup can really damage the marriage because of constant interventions. The couple never truly gets to set their own rules or learn how to be responsible together. And here's the crucial part. One spouse often fails to fully step into their new role as a husband or wife because, well, they never really left their old role as a son or daughter.
Psychologists actually have a term for this, an amalgamated or fused relationship. It's what happens when the lines between individuals get all blurry. The boundaries between the new couple and the family they came from just dissolve. It might look like a lot of closeness and love, but it often suffocates the independence a new marriage desperately needs to survive.
So if staying is so risky, what does it truly mean to leave? And believe me, it's about a whole lot more than just packing a few boxes.
This idea is actually ancient, it's foundational. The principle here is that for a new couple to truly unite, to become one, a real separation from their original families has to happen first. The main bond has to shift from parent and child to spouse and spouse. That has to become the new number one. And leaving isn't a single action. It happens across 6 different dimensions. First, there's the physical, you got to get your own address. But it's also relational, making sure your spouse is your top priority. It's emotional, turning to them first for support. And this is a huge one. It's financial, cutting the economic cord. It even goes into the spiritual and the geographical. Sometimes you just need that distance to really forge your own identity as a couple. Now, when a couple actually manages to navigate that whole process of leaving, they get this incredible opportunity to do something amazing. They get to build their own world right from the ground up. And the benefits of that? Oh, they're huge. In your own space, you set the rules. You create your own weird traditions. You're forced to work as a team to figure everything out, from a leaky pipe to a big life decision. This builds real independence. And you know what's funny? It often makes your relationship with your families better, because you're interacting on your own terms, without all that day-to-day friction.
But hang on. In the 21st century, the whole idea of space isn't just about 4 walls and a roof anymore. It's digital too. And that opens up a very modern and very heated can of worms.
So let me ask you, in a marriage, does your partner have the right to just pick up your phone and scroll through it? This exact question blew up in a huge online debate, and it revealed 2 completely different ways of thinking about what it means to be a couple. Okay, so in one corner, you've got Team Total Transparency. Their argument is, hey, we're married, we're one unit, there shouldn't be any secrets. For them, sharing passwords isn't about being suspicious, it's the ultimate sign of trust. But in the other corner, you have Team Right to Privacy. They argue that getting married doesn't mean you stop being an individual. Everybody deserves some personal space for their own thoughts or private chats with friends. And really, this entire debate comes down to a crucial distinction: the massive difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is healthy. It's about having space for yourself, It's being an open book, but still closing the door when you go to the bathroom. Secrecy, on the other hand, is unhealthy. That's about actively hiding things, about deception. And the real challenge for any couple is figuring out exactly where that line is for them.
So we've talked about physical space and digital space. Before our final section, we're going to explore an idea that takes the whole concept of marital space and pushes it to its absolute limit.
What if the ultimate way to preserve your individuality and get rid of all the little annoyances in a marriage was to not live together at all?
Yup, it's a real thing. It's called a separate marriage. And it's a trend where legally married couples make the choice to live in two different homes. They are fully committed. Sometimes they share finances, they raise kids together, but they do not share a living space. So why on earth would anyone do this? Well, the reasons are actually pretty fascinating. It lets both partners keep their own independent lifestyles and really focus on their careers. It completely eliminates all that daily friction over, who left the wet towel on the floor. And for a lot of them, it actually makes them appreciate the time they do spend together a whole lot more. So from sharing a room with your in-laws to sharing a password on your phone to not even sharing a zip code, the definition of marital space is definitely changing. And it forces all of us to ask a really fundamental question. In your own life, in your own relationships, what does space truly mean to you?